speaker shared thoughts on making money and getting us focused. And the second scared us a little, talking about security. So you make money, but you cannot keep the money. I want to see how I can tie them together. I hope some cyber security has not tampered with my presentation. He said I didn't share my slide. I didn't. Somebody has asked. And I didn't secure it very well. Yeah. Well, because of time, maybe I'll just continue. Okay, so what exactly is happening to technology? What does technology need from the law? Why are we talking about law? What exactly is intellectual property? Those are some of the things I'll be sharing over the next 20 minutes I was given. As an African, I consult Oracle. Earlier on, some people are talking of Ifa, some people are talking of Bono. My own Oracle is the Bible. And it says that knowledge is going to increase. I mean, in the 1930s, I understand that in England, people were taking their baths not in their homes. They had to go outside to take their baths. So a lot of development over there in 30, 40 years, and people look back and say, is this possible? When I was young, it was so easy for fathers to know who is dating their daughters, because there was only one. Not all houses had phones, and if they had a phone, the father could listen in, because there was only around 700,000 phones in Nigeria. But in the last 20 years, there's been a revolution, and it's because the Oracle I consult says two things are relevant here. One, knowledge is going to increase. And the second one, which ties in with what the first speaker said, is that men are going to be lovers of themselves. Sports, entertainment is going to grow. A lot of money. And you see how people are making money today, as the first speaker said. And somebody asked when I came in, one of the other speakers who will be coming on big sound today, what's the situation like in Nigeria? I said, well, Mark Zuckerberg. How many of us know who Mark Zuckerberg is? Aha. He came to Nigeria. Why? He smelled money. Not area, but money. And he was not invited by the federal government. After leaving Nigeria, the government said, hey, he came to Nigeria. Please call him to come back. That's what happened. But he noticed that we had a tech boom around the urban area of Lagos. Those guys, they consult oracles. They could see. And the future is so bright for Nigeria. And that's why people like you are here. The revolution of technology, which we are in now, the IT tech revolution, is one where we can compete with the rest of the world. We can do as well, and we can do better. That's why our Yahoo boys are doing bad, but they can be converted. And so Nigeria is emerging, and the amount of apps we see in Nigeria and the startups, that's why Nigeria has passed several laws trying to deal with and help some of this. I'll highlight some of them, and I'll zero in on intellectual property, which is the main subject today. So what does law need? What does technology need from law? It's the protection. It's the assurance that if I develop a software, no one can steal it. If I pitch my software, my idea to a bank or these people, they will not say, we're not interested. And then 1 month later, they start to deploy it, and they say they don't know you, because that happens a lot. That's why law is there to ensure that people do not reap where they do not sow, that you have protection. You walk, I remember some years back, there was this young chap who had never, he didn't even have a passport by the time he graduated. He was working in this software company, and they sent him all over the world for training. And the company then was selling software. And this young chap left the company and started competing with his boss. And when the boss sued him and his company, and sued about 11 banks, and got an injunction restraining those banks from using the software, we acted for this young man, and we set aside the order of court. Why? Because the law in Nigeria is that when it comes to the software you have created, if it's copyright, it belongs to the employee, not the employer, unless there is a written contract between the employer and the employee, transferring it to the employer. Yeah. So we set aside the injunction, and the man, pastor, then said he's going to report me to my pastor. I said, well, I can't report me. That's the law. The law is an ass. So, what is intellectual property? Intellectual property is that area of law that seeks to protect your ideas, your inventions, your brands, and helps to ensure that people do not steal them. People do not take unfair advantage and compete with you unfairly. So you have various types. You have copyright, which deals with music, film, broadcasts, literary works, computer software. We have trademarks. When the last speaker put up one of the slides, and so many people were trying to guess, I said brands. Brands because of those logos. Okay? So trademarks, brands, protect those logos so that nobody is going to have a logo or a brand that is similar and confuse people. Okay? Then you have patents, which deals with inventions. You know, the invention is an improvement. It could be a new invention, something which we've never seen before. It could be an improvement on one. It could be bringing things together. For instance, this camera is now does video, can do broadcasting, can do so many things. So bringing all those things even together into this, you may be able to have patents on all that. Then you have designs, so which protects shapes, design of textiles, shapes of equipment, and so on. Then you have plant variety, which protects, as I was driving in, I saw a nice side at the IIT or on the other side. So you have innovation in agriculture for plants. So you have plant variety. And then you have what we call traditional knowledge. It's a new body of law that we are pushing. That look, our forefathers, I mean, when I was young, you have malaria. My grandma would give me alcohol. Once you drink alcohol, you sweat and it's over. I wish she was still alive. We would have made money and dealt with COVID. You know, so because I have 20 minutes, I cannot say so much, and I thought I should just share some tidbits in terms of intellectual property. One, to say that we have laws in Nigeria, and there have been enforcement of those laws dating back to over 100 years in Nigeria. Since 1912, courts have stopped people from breaching other people's intellectual property rights. So let's start with trademarks, for instance. Logos, names, insignias, and so on. We saw so many on the, okay, right. So we saw so many on the, I want to thank the cyber hackers that have released my slides. So all those logos, trademark law seeks to protect the copying or usage of identical logos or confusing similar logos or names. And so if you are going to have whatever product you have or service, you may need to brand it and have a name, and the rule will be make it distinctive. Make it what? Because you could make yours descriptive. If it's descriptive, that means it may give you some advantage. You know, like I think it was Chic Bleach some years back. They had this advert and say, "Don't say bleach, say Chic." Let's repeat it. Don't say bleach, say Chic. Very silly advert. Now what? It made everybody know. You go and buy bleach, they give you Chic. You want to buy this other brand of bleach, they give you. You also ask for Jig, they give you another one. That blurs the distinctiveness. You know? So you don't let people misuse or describe your product in the marketplace. That's why I think it was Panadol that brought out that advert some years back. Catino Bineda. It must be Panadol. Don't paracetamol and Panadol, they're basically the same thing in the sense that Panadol is the logo, the brand name, but the active ingredients was the same as paracetamol. Okay? And so they obtained a patent for the active ingredients, used that for 20 years because patents last for 20 years. And then they continue using the name Panadol, or other people use the name paracetamol. Okay? So, but the key thing, two takeaways for trademarks, as you develop your logo, try to make it distinctive. And if people use anything that is sounds alike or is identical. So, for instance, when we were young, I know Prince Andrew must have ridden those kind of bicycles too. We say rally chopper. That's what we used to ride. What's the spelling of rally? Can anyone? Rally the bicycle. R-A-W-L-Y. You missed it. Do zero. Yeah. Yes, let's clap for her. R-A-L-E-I-G. If you put those words together, do they look alike? Do they sound alike? They do. R-A-W-L-Y. I mean R-A-W-L-Y and R-A-L-E-I-G-H. They don't look alike, but they sound alike. So the test is, it must not sound alike, or it must not look alike. So as you put out your products there, your services, ensure that it's distinctive, and then no, you shouldn't make yours look alike or sound alike like others. Otherwise, somebody will come after you. Okay? So, copyright, I think I mentioned the example of that young chap that developed. He never traveled, and he made so much money because he was the one that developed the software for his boss. And copyright enrolled in him rather than his boss because there was no contract. So if you are having people work for you, ensure that the intellectual property rights reside in your organization, not in those people. Okay? Now, patents protect inventions, like I said. So, I remember the first film Babasala did when he got to England. He was just going out of the airport and the door opened. Say, hey, hey, they come from my village. You know, how can the door open? Ghosts. Now you go to the toilet, in those days, the first set, you pull down a lever and it will flush. And then we had the one which all of us press, then there's one which there's a circle, you press, and eventually a small circle, a big circle, and sometimes just do your hand like this and the thing flushes. All those Sodipo magic. So all those work with the same way of flushing, but different manifestations. So each one, you could obtain a patent on each one. Now for technology, one of the questions in Nigeria today is whether software inventions are patentable. And a lot of people that say, it's not patentable, it's not patentable. My position and truth is that it is patentable in Nigeria, and we had some litigation. I think the decision was given late 2022, where the court agreed with us on behalf of eTransact. I'm trying to remember the name of the company that sued, very, very big fintech company. So essentially, the point I'm making is that intellectual property protects technology, and intellectual property works in Nigeria. Injunctions have been granted, which is an order. For instance, there can be an injunction, don't do this program. So courts have granted injunctions like that to say, don't show that television program, don't sell that product, don't use that trademark. If you are going to sell the product, remove the logo of that company from that. So intellectual property is strong in Nigeria. There are very many examples. I mean, United Airlines, there's a US United Airlines, Nigerian United Airlines, they're in court. If I was acting for any one of them, they will win. But since I'm not acting for them, I don't care whoever wins. So, trademarks, copyrights, patents have been enforced in Nigeria. The laws are strong, and the laws have been used to, do devastating things. I remember there was a company, I'll try not to mention the name, that stole the idea of our clients some years back. And when we wrote them to say, we'll take you to court, the lawyer on the other side said, Bankole, I'll keep you in court for 10 years. I said, and I will destroy your client's reputation. That's me. I'll be so happy. Once I destroy their reputation, then you can go and play with them. And what happened? My clients had the idea for developing a portal to trade oil and gas in Nigeria. Went to this consulting firm. The consulting firm helped them to market it, and eventually the Nigerian government said, build it for us. And they pushed my clients aside. My clients said, this is my confidential information that I shared with you in trust. You had a duty not to use it without my permission. But this is Nigeria. Say, hey, how? So when we sued them, after 4 years, because we sued the company in Nigeria, we sued their Chicago and South Africa companies. So the Nigerian one was fighting. The Igbo one said, what's your defense? One said, so we even sacked the lawyer. And so the guy has not forgiven me. The firm has not. And I don't mind if you don't forgive me for such things. So maybe next slide. I want to end by saying that there's so many other laws that have been passed in Nigeria because Nigerian government realized the importance of technology. So you have cyber crimes. So a lot of things people do in the cyber world. Cyber crimes, and they are offenses. Some people have been in prison. Remember some years back, somebody brought some photographs, nude photographs, and we used to copyright because there's copyright in your photographs. We use copyright in photographs to stop the city people or something from publishing. Although I didn't want my wife to, because it was like, Bankole, is that the kind of law you are doing? So, cybercrime, people have been in prison for breach of cyber laws. Nigerian Startup Act seeks to promote a lot of, startup. You have then also the law of contract. I told you it's important that you have this clause in the agreement transferring the. I think one point I should also mention before taking my leave is that there's copyright in your drawings, there's copyright in photographs, but in Nigeria, although the law has changed slightly, but in Nigeria, the author of the photograph is the owner of copyright, unless there's a contract to the contrary. Who is the author of the photograph? Is it the photographer or the person who posed? What do you think? The law says it's the photographer. So, this program now, the photographer has called the video people, and then Prince does not pay them. And Prince wants to use the video, they can sue him. And I will represent them really. So on this note, I want to say earlier,
Well, please give me your hand, please. Yeah. I'm having a great time. Are you having a great time? Look at your neighbor, say, are you having a great time?